Well, howdy do, everyone. Welcome back to the coffee break. It's a little bright out, so I'm keeping my glasses on this morning. And of course, I do have my coffee every once in a while. I want you to know I do have my coffee while I'm sitting here blabbing away on my coffee break. It's time to take a little time out. And I found myself yesterday doing a lot of pondering and a lot of thinking and being very contemplative and prayerful and mindful of the world as it is and as we know it right now. And I'm not even sure where I'm going to go with this today, but it is the end of the week and we have had an election and we are waiting for results, and there's all kinds of hubbub going on out there. I call it hubbub, but really it's a lot of people just blabbing away like I am, except they're doing it in a way that is not so mindful, not very thoughtful, and there's some angry people out there, and there's very opinionated people out there, and we've known for a long time that we're quite divided here now, and I'm just seeing a lot more of that day to day, especially right now as we're trying to get through an election process. But I suppose what I'm thinking about is where I am in the midst of all that, and wondering where some of you are in the midst of all this too. It's a lot to think about. It's not a lot to let get your goat if you allow yourself to sort of turn it off, tune it out a little bit, and focus on what's important to you. I don't suppose that that's anything new to most people who might be listening to me today. But as I was thinking yesterday and I was talking out loud and being prayerful and mindful and contemplative as I was saying, I was thinking about myself and what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing. And you see people out there and hear people making predictions, and they make good predictions, don't they? And they have a good track record. And then you have some people who are proposing that they are very prophetic and they have prophecies. And if you're a religious person, of course, that fits into the mindset of what prophets are. And I was listening to some lady speak about dreams that she's been having and what her thoughts are about the election outcome and what it's supposed to be and what she was told by the powers that be in the universe and God, and however you want to refer to it. I'm saying that just to be inclusive of all kinds of thinking and mindsets. That she was told who the winner would be, and that we are in a spiritual warfare and battle towards the end times. And sometimes I think when I hear these things that there's been a lot of that going on throughout the ages. The end is near, and doomsdayers, and there's some sense of truth about that, I suppose, because we see a lot of degradation and things just falling apart more and more as the years go by. So I suppose there's some truth to that. And if you're a religious person, then you have your theology and your thought processes, and you have your mindset on what's going on and how it should go and what it all means. And sometimes I think people are trying to speak for their God or for God, and I just feel like maybe I can't do that. That's not my place to do that. God speaks for himself. If you're a God believer, and I am a man of faith, I'm a very middle-of-the-road kind of guy. I'm not perfect. I'm not an angel. I've made plenty of mistakes in my life. But I do believe that there is a power greater than myself that spurs me on from day to day and that put me here for a purpose and a reason. And even though I might not know what that purpose is anymore, or I question it very seriously these days, I still am a man of faith. And I don't want to lean on my own understanding, and I don't want to be paying attention to all these other people who are just speaking away and making claims that they are speaking on behalf of authority. And we have that going on. And we have people who have strong beliefs on both sides of the fence. Actually, as I've said before, there are more than two sides to a story, so there's many different directions you can go in, but I'm not the kind of person who goes to the extreme left or the extreme right, as we call it here in this country, and I am very middle of the road. So I've been thinking about my faith and my belief system and my emotional bloodstream and where I fit into all this and where I'm trying to find my peace, my joy, and my happiness. And that comes a lot from my faith. And I may look like a caveman, hippie, bum type, but I do have a brain between my ears. I do have some sense of moral consciousness within myself that says what I see going on is good or bad, or I don't see that as being right. There's something not right about that. I do have a sense about that within myself. And I just keep thinking to myself that I want to look at me. And maybe that's what other people should be doing too in the world today, since there's so many of us. We should be looking inwards into ourselves and to sort of find out what we think and judge ourselves for what we're doing and try to be the better person that we need to be. And I want to be that person who has good intentions, a good heart, good character, and good integrity. And sometimes I don't feel like I'm getting there. I'm falling short of the glory, or I'm getting too old to cut the mustard. I don't know. But I am trying to hold on to that peace beyond all understanding that doesn't come from me, but that I recognize that I'm trying to be as a result of the gifts that are given to me, which is life in and of itself. So I don't want to be constantly listening to the news. I don't want to be constantly reading the paper or listening to other people and conspiracy theorists and people who have alternative self-indulgent agendas that are looking to crash down on other people or tear them apart, instead of building them up. So again, like I said, I'm not to the one extreme or the other. And what I determined yesterday as I was thinking and being thoughtful and prayerful about these ideas and the pandemic and the economy and the elections and our government and the political climate and the situation with climate control, global warming, and the crises that we keep experiencing on an individual and a collective basis. And I don't want to look to the left, is what I discovered. I don't want to just look to the right. I don't want to look back either, because I don't want to live back there. I'm here now. And what I need to do is to move forward, go straight ahead, move forward, and most importantly, look up. Look up towards that for which I believe in. And if you're the type of person who has a faith, and whether you are a full-fledged Christian or another type of religion or no religion at all, you're a spiritually aware person and you're consciously looking to be self-aware, and you're looking for the answers to how all this came to be, and what man has done, and what the powers and the universe and gods and angels, and however you want to look at it, what they created and how beautiful that is, that's where I'm going to look for my answers. Because every time I look out off my balcony and I look at those beautiful mountains and the beautiful blue sky and the clouds that just puffle around like a painting, and I see that, I think that is amazing and that's wonderful, and that's where I need to put my focus on. My visions need to be more creative in using my gifts to serve the better whole, and the greater good. So those have been some of my thoughts. that I wanted to share. And so my job right now, as I see it, is just to stand right where I am in place. I don't necessarily always have to respond or react to a situation. I just need to stand right where I am, because this is where God put me. And be thankful for that and grateful for that, and see that as the blessing it really is. And I have been very lucky in my life, and I am very grateful and thankful for the things I have, and even for the things I don't have, for the people that have been so supportive and helpful of me, and for the people that have not been very supportive, have also tried to bring me down, because they teach me how not to behave, how not to do things, and how I don't want to be treated. And I've been watching a couple of movies, and one of them is Zeffirelli's Jesus of Nazareth, which is very focused on, of course, the story of Jesus and biblical stories. And some of the messages that I keep hearing in my mind and while I'm watching keep coming back to me over and over again, that this is not how things are supposed to be in this world today. It wasn't meant to go this distance, I don't think. That wasn't really the intention of this man called Jesus. He said to love your neighbor as yourself and do unto others as you would have them do unto you. You know, to love your enemies and to have great forgiveness. This is the time of forgiveness. The kingdom is at hand, is I was hearing yesterday. And, you know, the greatest thing that we can give each other is forgiveness and, above all, brotherly love. And through that, if we look through those eyes of that, and we look at other things that are biblically written down, whether you believe it as being literal or inspired, you have to say that there's a lot of good that comes with the idea that, you know, these ideas, and they're there to help us live the best life that we can live. And, you know, the tongue is sharper than the sword. But right now, what we're seeing is a lot of tongue lashing. So it's really tearing each other up. And if we remember that scripture alone, whether you're a Christian or another faith-based person or not, you got to say there's truth in these statements. And it's not helping us. So my job is to stand right where I am and accept and embrace things as they are, not to try to judge them too much, which sometimes is difficult, not to get anxious and depressed and upset about them, to try to find the peace beyond all understanding, because I'm not going to understand it. I'm not going to be at peace if I try to nitpick away at trying to figure it all out, because that's not who I am, and it's not going to benefit me at all, or anyone else that I'm trying to be here to serve. So stand right where I am in place. Now, there are a couple other things I just want to throw in here about how things have played out in the past and how they may play out in the future, and something that crossed my mind that made a whole lot of sense to me. And that is sometimes people are put in positions of power that aren't qualified, or they shouldn't be there really, but they're there for a reason. I think that they end up getting into that position for a purpose of sorts. And if you really think about it, you know, you're looking out there and you're trying to figure out what's true, what's not true, what's real, what's not real, and it's almost getting to that point where, you know, it's impossible. You have to go within, and you have to be prayerful and mindful, and try to get your answers from the right source. And what I'm thinking that I wanted to insert here is that, you know, if you think of the story of Christ, since I was watching the movie Jesus of Nazareth, which is practically 7.5, 8 hours long. I'm not finished with it yet. But it's a good source to go back and just be reminding of what's important in life. But as I was watching it, I even thought this thought, and it seems to parlay into what we're experiencing here in our country today and in our world. And that is that if you really think about it, as much as people look at the story of Christ's coming of age and his ministry coming about and his choosing of his disciples, and then ultimately his persecution and death and resurrection, as the story goes. Even Judas was chosen. He was chosen for a reason and a purpose. And you may not think too highly about him as a character in the story of Christ's life, but he was chosen for a reason and a purpose. So that may be something we're experiencing today. I don't know, but it is something that I was thinking about. Definitely wanted to throw that in there today. So the end part of my thought processes that I wanted to share with you today in reference to all these ideas and these things that I'm addressing and thinking about is that I don't want to hold my breath. It's a good thing right now just to stand right where you are and not hold your breath, and just breathe and relax as much as you can and take it one step at a time. And that's been going through my mind a lot the past 24 hours. So I just wanted to sort of spill the beans and let it all out and share that with anyone who will listen, and put it out there for what it's worth. And I thank you for listening. If you do like the video and you like the direction I'm going with just talking about things and my experiences and observations and thought processes, then please give me a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you'll get notifications of upcoming videos. And share the video. And I want you to have a good day and a great weekend, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Until then, have a good day. Bye-bye.